This is Sparta.
This is Sparta!
Welcome back to Ghost Gaming 83. I'll be your host for today. I'm Ghost. In today's video, we will talk about wall generals, and there's this one specific wall general that is making a fuzz. I mean, he's not really making a fuzz, but he is one of the general that you want to get. Today, we are talking about Leonidas, the Spartan King. So, without any further ado, let's dive into this wall general. Welcome back, guys. In today's video, Leonidas, that's who we are going to talk about. Let's take a look at this wall general. Let's go to our tavern, recruit portraits, and of course let's scroll down to Leonidas. Here he is. I don't have this general yet. I want this general, but it's a random bet, man. Even though you pay for your package, let's say you put $100 in here, the total package comes with the general is I believe 185 total spent in this package, and you will receive a random general, not a specific general. Always remember that. Leonidas happens to be in this package that you will get randomly. In this event package, the Super Spring Festival deal, you will have a chance to get Guan Yu. Okay, that's a new general that just recently released in this event. For those of you that are new to this channel, please help smash that like button, subscribe, and of course turn on your notification for future videos of Evony. Now let's dive back into Leonidas. Like I was saying, I put some money into this package. Unfortunately, I did not get Leonidas. I don't know why, but there are other people that have gotten a couple of Leonidas more than once, but I guess I wasn't the lucky one. So let's take a look at his basic stats. Leonidas, leadership 110, attack 112, defense 120. 120 is good. There are a couple other generals that has defense at 120, politics 103. So when we take a look at his basic stats, he has good stats, not the best stats. Let me define the best. Okay, there's no best. Okay, even though new generals comes out, whether it's an attack general, sub-city generals, boss generals, or wall defense generals, there is no such thing as the best. There's only generals that define the best to you, meaning that what type of gameplay you're going to use this general on, or what type of build for your account for this generals. But to be perfectly honest with you, there's no best wall generals or generals at all. Let's go to his special skills. The 300 Spartans. This special skill increase in city ground troops attack and HP by 30%, and in city range troop attack by 25%. One general is the main city defense general. Ground troop HP and attack 30%. I was hoping it would be like defense and HP. Ground attack, it's okay if you're using Scipio, but as a wall defense general, might want some other stats towards it. Like for example, if there's 30% in-city ground troop defense, or 30% in-city ground troop HP, plus in-city range and siege, because those three stats, well, personally, I think is vital to a wall defense general. The way I see it is that there are other generals like Joseph E. Johnson. He is pretty much, I guess, players' most famous generals or wall generals that you can get. Now Joseph E. Johnson is basically free to get. If you want to get Joseph E. Johnson, you can collect those daily tokens until you have 30 token accumulate. Then you can open them up and receive him for free, or you can go to relic mining and use those hammers to break some bricks and accumulate him to a certain amount to get him free. I believe, I don't know, but there was a release within the announcement that there are some free generals. I can't get mine to work, but well, I don't know. But anyways, there are free generals now that are being added to the tavern that you can get. And unfortunately, I have to tell you, Leonidas is not a free general. Probably if you want him for free to show up in the tavern, you're gonna have to wait probably a year or two or something like that for him to be free. So let's go back to the stats. Let's take a look at Leonidas' specialty. His ground troop assault, ground troop HP and attack is added 10%. His defensive, 10% added to hospital capacity, and 10% added to in-city ground troop and mount troop attack. And ground troop Ares, 10% is added to all three category of troop attack, HP, and of course defense. And of course the last one is Battle of Thermopylae, something like that. Thermopylae. I know this place because it's historical place. I can't seem to pronounce it. Anyways, 30% is added to the ground troop attack, and of course it's a debuff of negative 30% added towards the enemy mount troop attack if the enemy decided to attack using mount. But here's something that I or every other Evony player that played this game for a while is that you don't want to attack another castle using mount troops, because 100% of the time, okay, your troops will get annihilated by counter attack from the archer side. Okay, so you don't want to do that. Most popular attack options is, of course, range or siege. And once you've taken out certain units by using range or siege, you send in your ground troops using Scipio if you have him, and you decimate the rest of their troops. So by looking at the stats, Leonidas, he is a tough guy. Okay, between William Marshall and Joseph E. Johnson and Leonidas, those three are great generals to have. If you land on William Marshall, he's a good general. I haven't made a video on him yet. I will probably make a video on him pretty soon. Joseph E. Johnson too, but now we're focusing on Leonidas. So with Leonidas, if you want to build Leonidas using the refine or gear, let's go into the gear section. And if you are free to play player, meaning that you're not going to spend money in this game, unfortunately, if you are a free to play player, you will not get the new civilization equipment such as the leg armor or anything like that until you reach level 3 at purchasing. But those equipments will boost your general's power even more powerful than he already is. So as a wall general, what type of gear should you put into this general? So let's look at the helmet. If you're going with the arc gear, I would suggest you roll with courageous arc helmet, which debuff enemy ground troop and HP at 20% and increase your in-city range troop attack by 10%, plus your mount troop attack by 17%. That mount troop attack is incorporated into your general. If he is a wall general, it also helps out too. That's for the headset unit. If you are going with the chest, I would suggest you get courageous armor. This consists of 17% is added to your siege machine attack and siege machine defense, and it gives the enemy debuff at a -20 for siege machine attack and enemy mount troop defense. And let's go to the legging. I would suggest you get the fearless leg armor for arc gear. This will give you 17% of your ground troop HP, and of course 17% of your siege machine attack, and it will debuff your enemy attack by 20% on the range troop defense, and of course siege machine attack. So as a wall general, what you're trying to do is you're trying to defend your castle from an incoming enemy attack and try and reduce their strike, their defense, their health power by using debuffs like that to help sustain your castle from enemy attack. Let's go to the to the boot. I would suggest you get courageous boot. With this will help you have 17% of ground troop defense. Remember guys, ground troop defense is the backbone of your castle. You need those grounds, to be a meat barrier, and some grounds are stronger than another. So this, with the courageous boot, it will give you 17% towards ground troop defense. It will give debuffs to enemy by -20% for their siege machine attack. Of course, we all attack with siege machine, and of course another 20% of enemy mount troop attack, and added 10% to in-city range attack. As for the ring, I would suggest you have, I would suggest you have courageous ring. This will give your siege bomb. Okay, if you have a siege ring, this is a siege ring. So 20% is added to your mount troop defense. If you have a lot of mount unit within your castle, you need to have defense and HP on them at a high rate. And 20% is added to your siege attack. Debuff enemy range troop attack by 20%, and of course added 5% to siege machine attack range. So your siege machine will attack at a further distance than it normally does. Okay. For a wall general, I would suggest either you use bow, because the bow will give you a range troop attack by 30%, in city range troop defense by 15%, debuff 20% towards enemy siege machine attack, march speed. I don't think that's relevant, but if there is other unit, then that's pretty good. And of course, you're not only having these stats, these are the basic stats that you will have, and it comes with the bow, but you can refine these equipment to have greater percentage to your the amount of power that your equipment is adding to your war general. You would get the bow or the axe. The axe will give you 30% of siege machine attack, debuff enemy ground troop HP and range troop HP by 20%, and of course add another 15% to ground troop defense. Now those are the gear that I would recommend you craft when you have enough materials. Craft this gear and give it a 5-star and refine it at about, refine it to get the 20%. In this rate with the refining, I would recommend percentage over points, but sometimes points really matters. For example, if you get 1400 and require maximum is 1500, that's pretty good. That is like you're saying 20% to 22%. Okay, and one thing is that refining equipment costs a lot of gems and gold, so be prepared to do that, or have those that amount of gold and gems within your account to continue to refine until you get the best stats or maximum stats for those individual equipment that you will be placing on your war generals. So let's go back and talk about civilization. So they released 3 civilization equipment. One is the European, the other one is the American, and currently they're releasing Japanese equipment. So by looking at all the stats for the European, it seems like it's for mount troop attack. American is range, mostly range troops, a little bit of mount troop and range, I guess. And the Japanese is more of a ground defense. So if you are building a war general and you're running strictly for ground, that means that you have a lot of ground troop. But to be honest, guys, you have to have balanced troop. You can't always have like hundreds of thousands of ground troops and a little bit of range and siege and mount troops. You gotta have even unit, because when I scout, for example, when I scout you or another enemy scout you and sees that you have in your castle all ground troops and a little bit here and there for range, mount, and siege, I will send a counter attack and I will send mount troop to kill your ground troop. You get what I'm saying? So you need, let's say you have 500,000 ground troops, you need 500,000 range, 400,000 range, or 600,000 range, 200,000-300,000 mounts, because you need mount troops to run boss. Of course, you're not gonna have 0 mount troop and just like join the rally. Well, you can do that, but you gotta have some actions in your gameplay, not just like running boss all the time. And of course, you gotta have about 300,000-400,000 siege, so it levels up. So one troop will defend for another troops. The lack of troops that you have, don't just have one specific unit that are more than another. Okay, so I like to build layering, and I'm starting to build layering. I have all from tier 1 to roughly tier 10 or 9, all 1 million troops, and I will continue from tier 10 to all the way to tier 13, 1 million troops, except tier 13 quite a lot of troops, more than 1 million. But once I get every unit to 1 million, I will go back to tier 1 and upgrade another million. So I should be able to have from tier 1 to tier 13 2 millions layering, and then I keep on refreshing and doing adding more unit within the game, because that's all I can do is just train units, you know, and do SVS or battlefield to gain points so I can advance and other stuff like that. So back to Leonidas. So we talk about gear, which type of gear you want on him. If you have a chance to spend, I think $40, get the new civilization equipment for focus on your ground, your range troop or your siege troop. For this type of skill book that I would recommend, if you place or if you have Leonidas, see what skill book I have on here. See one general that I'm gonna pick, just some random one. So I would suggest, because Leonidas does not have any defense stats, I would of course place ground troop defense. Ground troop defense at level 4, which is 25%. Something happened to my connection, but let's just go back. Ground troop speed, I'll get to it in a second, but we are talking about 25% ground troop defense to compensate for the lack of defense in Leonidas. You have of course the ground troop attack and HP at 30%, but you don't have any defense, so 25% is not equal to 30%, of course, but at least you have 25% of that defense. Okay, you would want either range troop attack at a 25%, or range troop range bonus by 100%. I mean 100 points. You know, this level 4 range troop range bonus will basically add an extra range towards your range troop. That means your archer to shoot further than it is. Or you can add siege machine attack, since it's lacking in siege machine attack. Or you can add siege machine. Let's see if I have siege machine bonus. I don't think I have any siege machine. Yeah, here it is. Level 4 siege machine range bonus is added by 200 points. And so right now, when I take a look at Leonidas, he is lacking in defense, and he is lacking in, of course, siege attack. If I look at Joseph E. Johnson, let's see, Joseph E. Johnson, as you can see, increase in city mount troop HP by 15, and increase in city range troop and siege troop by 20%. But Leonidas, he currently have right now is in city range troop by 25%, and there's no siege. Okay, even though there are 5% extra for the in city range troop, that 5% extra doesn't make a difference. But let's compensate the missing other two stats, which is siege machine and defense. So with the 3 slot for skill book, I would put 25% on ground troop defense, okay, and 25% on siege. You could either put siege machine attack or bonus siege machine range attack. Okay, and for the 3rd slot, I would put, of course, ground troop speed or something like that. Let's go back to whatever general that I have, and let's look at his or the skill books that I have. So I saw ground troop speed, mount troop speed. What does that really mean? Okay, if you guys don't understand what ground troop speed is and mount troop speed, if you are confused between ground troop speed and what is it, march speed and the troop speed are different. Okay, for example, march speed is to run or to get to a monster faster as a whole unit, as your whole march, right? But within your whole march, if you have siege machine or you have ground machine, of course mount unit is gonna get there faster than ground troop, right? And the ground troop speed, if you have that skill book in your general, what happens that when an enemy send an attack towards your castle, the first unit that has a boost of 20% speed, let's say I chose ground troop speed and it gives me 20%, that ground troop speed will get there before other units to defend the castle, while my range archer unit will shoot further. My ground troop speed will get to the enemy faster to hit them or to defend, them from getting in. So my other unit will have an equal time to get there too. Okay, that's what ground troop speed or mount troop speed or archer troop speed or siege troop speed is all about. It doesn't have anything tied into a march speed. Okay, let's go back to Leonidas. So overall, I think Leonidas is a good general to get. If you are lucky to have Leonidas and you roll with double Leonidas, go ahead and sell one of them because you only need one. Overall, I think Leonidas is a good wall general to have. Not a lot of people have Leonidas, but if you have like Leonidas, build him, equip him, refine his gear to make him better at the which type of gameplay style you have. Another tip is that I noticed that every week you or Evony will give you a double down coupon. If you're planning to spend on event package, go ahead and purchase until $49.99 USD. The next purchase that you will purchase, it's going to be $100 purchase, and that will land you with one random general. On that purchase, before you hit purchase, activate your double down, and you will have double the purchase that you have. You will have, instead of one random chance of getting that wall general, now you have two wall general chests or general chest to open. Okay, use that double down for your advantage. Okay, guys, so with all said and done, this is Leonidas, King of Sparta, and I hope you enjoy this video with the information I gave you. Please leave a comment below and tell me what you think. I'm fairly new with Leonidas. I don't even have this general yet, but I read up about this general a lot and to the type of experience that I have with wall generals. That's the best information I can give you. Please do understand. Please don't bash me or any other players that are on the community saying I give false information. Everyone has their own experience of playing this game. Okay, well, I'm another guy that has a different experience, while other YouTube creator has a different type of play style than I do. They create their generals or work on their general differently than I do. Every everyone has their different play style. Okay, so we're all here to learn from each other instead of bashing on each other. Okay, I hope this video will help explain on certain requirements for Leonidas. If you have any questions, please write it down below, and I will reply to your comments. I do read comments. I read comments all the time. It's just the replying. I never really have time. I'm always busy, but I'll do my best to reply to your comment as soon as possible. Okay, guys. So please, once again, to help the channel out, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification for my next future video of Evony the game. Okay. Well, that's it. Happy days and happy gaming, guys. I'll see you next time on Ghost Gaming 83.